Oh, this is going to be so much easier to rank than the Marvel Cinematic Universe. What's going on, everybody? Well, we've got a new DCEU film, so it's time for a new ranking, people. And things have shifted a little bit. You know, we've had two films since I've done my last ranking, I believe. I think the last one I did was with Justice League. And I've rewatched these films once, at least, between the release of Justice League and now. So my ranking has changed slightly, as well as the addition of these new films. So let's just get right into it. We got 7 films to talk about now with the release of Shazam. So starting right off at number 7. The least successful DCEU film for me so far is still Suicide Squad. Now, Suicide Squad's weird because I really enjoyed it when I saw it in theaters, but this is a movie that literally every time I rewatch it, I find more problems with it, or the stuff that I liked has diminishing returns. This is a movie that has a great cast, really fun, unique characters that have a cool dynamic with each other, some decent action scenes overall, but it's a movie that just crumbles with its script and crumbles with its story and crumbles completely with its shitbag villain. This is a movie that's fun to watch if you shut your brain off and just kind of enjoy, you know, flashy stuff on screen, or if you like the dynamic with Will Smith, or especially with Harley Quinn and Margot Robbie, considering she's the character who's going to be going forward in this universe. Everybody else is pretty much going to be forgotten, and they've already recasted Will Smith with Idris Elba. So this is a movie that is just okay. It's a movie that has a lot of problems that they rushed into production, they rushed the script writing for, and it shows. And it's still the worst DCEU film, in my opinion. Number 6 is going to be Justice League. This is a movie that is just not good. I mean, it's got a lot of the same problems that Suicide Squad has as far as just rushed into production, because they rushed Zack Snyder into, like, they started this movie like immediately after BVS was released in theaters and didn't even get a chance to see what the fan reaction was. Then they fucking panicked and they got rid of Zack Snyder. They'll say that he left, but they really just kind of fired his ass. And then they got Joss Whedon to come in. Zack Snyder and Joss Whedon, two totally different storytellers, two totally different tones of director, and they do not fit together at all. There's so many scenes in this movie that just feel weird with each other. The group dynamic, same thing with Suicide Squad. The casting and the characters and the group dynamic is awesome. Great casting all around, not a single miscast character. Really fun action sequences, more fun than Suicide Squad, which is the one thing that brings it up. Like the sequence where Superman is kind of going nuts and you have the Flash running around him and then he's kind of like, and the Flash is like, that stuff is really good. Like, there's moments where you see the humor in there that it works well, but other than that, it just feels fucking weird and off with this universe. And like pretty much every other fan of this universe, I would pay $100 to see the Zack Snyder cut of this movie. But the cut that we have right now, ugh, number 6. Number 5 for me, and I'm talking strictly on the ultimate cut, is Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. If I was talking about the theatrical cut, that would probably be at the very bottom, maybe even just above Suicide Squad. But the ultimate cut is the only version of this movie I will ever acknowledge, and most of us will ever acknowledge, and most of us will ever watch. Batman v Superman, great casting for all 3 of our main characters, Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. Really great dynamic between those 2 characters of Batman and Superman. Really great tension built up to this ultimate fight. The fight overall is pretty cool to watch. Really great action sequences. To date, the best Batman scene we have ever seen, in my opinion, with this warehouse fight where he's just whooping ass left and right. That's one of the main things where I was like, God, I love this version of Batman, because that is the shit that I wanted to see that I never got from the Nolan movies, even though how brilliant those movies are. Fight scenes like that was sorely missed. But you have action scenes like that. You have really good lines of dialogue. You have very good, deep themes and everything that Zack Snyder is able to bring into these. For me, the movie falls apart with trying to juggle too much, trying to do too much in one movie, trying to set up Justice League, trying to set up other things, kind of rushing the Batman and Superman thing when this should have been like 4 or 5 movies down the road. It's been said a million times. Then you get the I don't know if it's miscasting or just miswriting of the character of Lex Luthor, because I think that, you know, the casting as well, it's just the version of Lex Luthor that we get here is just weird. It's just off. Like, that's not Lex Luthor to me and to apparently a lot of comic book fans. That's like the Riddler. So everything regarding Lex Luthor is still very weird in this movie. Kind of rushing into Doomsday at the end, even though he looks cool, even though the fight is cool, it just feels rushed. Just rushed is the overall theme of this movie. It's a movie that's much better in the ultimate cut though. So from here on out is movies that I all like and I will all rewatch. but Batman v Superman is the one that I have the most problems with in that group. So number 5, BVS. Number 4, from here on up, these are movies that I all love. Like, these are all between 4 and 5-star movies to me. And with that being said, this is not a knock on this movie whatsoever, because if you watch my review for it that just debuted, I'm a huge fan of it. Number 4 is Shazam. Shazam is an absolute blast of a movie. It's the kick in the ass that this universe needed, and really just the comic book genre of films in general needed, because it's so fun and just so unapologetically entertaining, and it's going for that in spades, that it's just, you can't deny how much of an enjoyment is that this movie is to watch. Is it like grand scale? No, it's not trying to be. It's about a kid who's searching for his mom and he gets superpowers. And it's about what a kid would do in the world that has Superman and Batman in it, how he would react, what stupid shit would he be doing if he got superpowers. And it explores all of that. There's a great family dynamic, there's a great message, there's a great like learning curve and a great like character dynamic and a character growth that Billy Batson goes through with the help of Shazam. The casting is on point, Zachary Levi is great. So many good things. It's a little bit too in the lighthearted for my taste, and it worries me a little bit that they're gonna swing a little bit too far into the lighthearted in further films. I hope not. Hope they don't learn the wrong lessons with the undoubtedly success this movie is going to be, but full-on enjoyment with this movie. Love the hell out of it. So number 4 is not a knock. That just shows you how much I love number 3 through 1. So number 4 is Shazam. Number 3 is a movie that at one point was my number 1 on my list, maybe because of excitement because I just saw it, but Wonder Woman is number 3. This movie is so good. Like, the character of Diana Prince is just so great, and the casting is great too, which was the biggest thing that all of us were worried about. Like, Gal Gadot, however you say her name, she is perfect for this character. She's charming, she's sweet, she's strong, she's captivating. You kind of fall in love with her alongside Chris Pine. Chris Pine is great, their chemistry is awesome, great action sequences. I love the period piece feel of it. The villains is only where this thing gets knocked down a little bit, which didn't bother me as much on first watch. Upon rewatch, it bothered me a little bit more. Like the little really weird hokey doctors and like, they're like sitting behind the door laughing at each other. And then the ultimate reveal of Ares, which I think is a cooler scene than most people give it credit for, but it's still kind of over CGI comic book stuff. Still, those are kind of minuscule in the grand scheme of everything that this movie does right. So I still enjoy the hell out of Wonder Woman, but it is, I think I gave it a 4.5 when I initially reviewed it. It would probably go down to about a 4.25 now that I've seen it, all right? I think I gave it a 4.75 actually. Oops. Number 2 is Aquaman. Aquaman was awesome. And maybe the same thing will happen with Aquaman. Maybe my initial excitement has got it up to 2. Maybe it'll be at number 4 the next time I do this list, but I had so much fun with Aquaman. I thought this was a movie that was the one movie we didn't hear any bullshit behind the scenes about. I think James Wan is a phenomenal director. I don't necessarily love every movie that he's done, but I have not disliked a single one. And he's done so many different genres. The world building in this is great. The CGI is, for the most part, really, really good. There's moments where it's a little weird, but for the most part, all of the CGI and all of the computer-generated effects and everything regarding the water and like the flowing hair and all the action sequences is awesome. You got like badass sequences like the Trench that they're doing their own spin-off movie for. Supposedly, I don't know. DC likes to announce spin-offs and never do it. The character of Aquaman, right there. Arthur Curry, badass. The casting, Jason Momoa, badass. He's awesome, he's strong, he's fierce, but he's cool as fuck. Like, he's a dude you'd want to kick a beer back with and then get in a bar fight with. Like, he's like that type of character. I love the villain in Orm, as well as some of the other side villains that I won't get into because it's still a movie that hasn't released on home video yet, but I like all the dynamics with all of that. I think his dynamic with his girlfriend Hela, that's not her, what the fuck, Mara, I think that's really good, although we're probably not going to see that actress anymore with all this Johnny Depp bullshit. But Amber Heard and him have a really good kind of chemistry and dynamic, and their little Indiana Jones style adventure that they go on. It's a movie that just has a lot going for it, and I really enjoyed the hell out of it. So that is why it's my number 2 DC film. But my number 1, this is a movie that it's on number 1, and then it's on number 2, and it's on number 3, and then it goes back to number 1. Every time I rewatch it, it just jumps back up to number 1, which just shows how much this movie has going for it, and how much rewatchability it has, and how much underneath the scenes that it has that requires rewatches to really understand what Zack Snyder was going for with Man of Steel, and what he was trying to do, and how differently he was trying to approach this character and this universe, and the comic book genre, and the template of comic book films. Zack Snyder is one of those directors that goes against the grain, and to me, this is one of those movies where his approach is flawless. This movie is damn near flawless to me. I know that irritates people, but fuck it. It's my number one. And I think that the character and the casting of Superman with Henry Cavill is awesome. I love that kind of internal turmoil that we get of the character that we never really got in some of the other movies. I haven't seen all of them. Superman was never a character I really enjoyed until this movie, which is another reason why I like it so much. I like the character of Zod and his little crew. I like how grand and epic and destructive the third act is. It shows like what would actually happen if superheroes and supervillains came to this fucking earth. It wouldn't regulate it to a block. There would be fucking chaos, and it happens. I like how it sets up this universe with just little tiny things like the Wayne Enterprises thing. Just kind of, it builds a universe through a film that's focused on being its own thing. The dynamic with the two fathers, the opening scene in Krypton. Everything about Man of Steel, I think, is just brilliant. Totally underrated, totally underappreciated. And it feels like a lot of people are starting to kind of come to the camp of Man of Steel upon rewatch and putting some time between the initial release of the film and now. And I'm one of those people that I really liked it when I first saw it. Every time I watch it, I've grown to love this movie. Like, this is probably like top 10 comic book film of all time level of love for me. So Man of Steel, back on top again, my number one DCEU film. So what do you guys think about the DC Extended Universe or the DC Universe or whatever name they finally land on to give this damn thing? I'm just gonna call it the DCEU, fuck it. What do you think about the DCEU, people? What do you think about these 7 movies? Did you like Shazam? Did you like Aquaman? What's your number 1 all the way through to your number 7? So much easier to write these lists than the MCU, which is going to be on its 22nd film here very soon. So put down in the comment section your ranking and a few reasons why, because it's boring just to read 1 through 7 a million times. Give me some reasons why, and we will discuss that down in the comment section below. Please like and share this video. Hit that subscribe button if you're not already a subscriber. If you want to check out some social media links, you can check down below for Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Spreadshirt for Cody Leach t-shirts and other merchandise designed by the great Woody Bowen, as well as my Patreon page, which is a great way to give back to this channel, help this channel grow, and get cool exclusive content for your eyes only if you decide to become a patron. So check all that out, guys, and if you want to check out some more of my videos, including past rankings and my reviews of some of these DC films, as well as my Marvel Cinematic Universe stuff, because I got a lot of that too, check that shit out by clicking right over here.